November 3rd, 1982. Pete and Repeat's Diner, Red River, New Mexico. Red River, keep moving. Well, I pulled into Cimarron just about broke, and I pulled out a fat roach and took a little toke. I looked at my honey and all the snow coming down and said, "Darling, by nightfall we better find us a town." Red River, keep moving. Red River, roll on. I'll be back this winter. I'm going to sing you one more song with the free meals down at Repeats while the truck's at Chevron. Red River, keep moving. Red River, roll on. So I headed west to Eagle's Nest to find a good bar, and I looked for a good place to tune up my old guitar, and I sang in a little Mexican joint called Julio's, and I ran into an old Vermont friend, and he said, "Mountain John, go to Red River. You can sing there for your gin." Here it is the first week of November, and I'm singing for tips. But hell, I'm singing my own songs. I don't have to sing any of those doggone top 40 hits. If this old truck keeps on moving, I'll be back here again. If not, I'll just stay here and sing for my gin. Red River, keep moving. Red River, roll on. I'll be back this winter. I'm going to sing you one more song. With the free meals down at Repeats while the truck's at Chevron, Red River, keep moving. Red River, roll on. Red River, New Mexico. We were there one day. I sang in a diner for tips and free food the first week of November and got the carburetor adjusted for the Colorado altitude. Debbie and I moved on through Alamosa to Crested Butte. Crested Butte. Debbie had some old friends there, and I always wanted to see it. We drove in the first week of November. Remember, we were due in Nevada City, California for Thanksgiving. We stayed 2 nights, and I sang in an old bar with bullet holes in the ceiling from a gunfight that Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid had had with the local sheriff. Kacheever's Bar. What a great place. The show sold like hotcakes there, and I never got to go back. We moved on around the west slope of the Rockies to Glenwood Springs and up the valley to Aspen. We did a TV show there, and I sang and recited poetry on a local station. I booked a bar in Aspen for the first weekend in January at a place called Andre's in downtown Aspen. We moved on to Park City, Utah, and landed a radio show as soon as we pulled in. Park City Local FM Radio. I booked 2 bars there for the second week of January. The Alamo, a locals hangout on Lower Main Street, and another place on top of Main Street called the Prospector. It was an old inn, and I would get a room with it. All of these gigs from Aspen and Park City were good-paying jobs, but only the Prospector had a room. I'd be sleeping in the scallywag all winter in the heart of the Rocky Mountains. Oh well, if Butch and Sundance and the boys could do it on horseback, I could surely live through it in my new motor home. On to Tahoe and Donner Pass. It was real cold now, and it was the 3rd week in November, but we stayed warm enough in the scallywag. Debbie was a real trooper on the road. She could go a long time without a shower or a bathroom without complaining about it. I, on the other hand, had to have a truck stop shower at least every 2 days. I'd been on the road long enough to consider hot water and a bathroom a luxury in life. I picked up another club the 3rd week of January in South Shore, Tahoe, the Mine Shaft. Let me say now that all these gigs paid $150 to $200 a night. Now in this society that's not much money, but that's enough, just enough to keep going. No insurance on anything but the truck, no taxes, no rent. No wives, no kids, no home. A lot of gasoline, food, cigarettes, and guitar straps. And strings. We crossed over Donner Pass the weekend before Thanksgiving, and we were on time. Wilson and Cisco had some gigs for me in Nevada City, and by the time we added that bar, Deer Creek Saloon, all I had to do was call each place and book February, March, and April, and I had 4 months booked in advance. I now had a monthly income for 4 months in advance of $300 to $400 a week, just enough to keep on singing and writing. I simply replaced the endless miles on the East Coast with the endless miles through the Rocky Mountains. Twice the gas and no rooms. Oh shit, yahoo, amen. Not hardly any work for the month of December, but we were with good friends. I knew we'd be all right. But any time I had a woman on the road with me, I worried about survival more. One more mouth to feed, one more set of emotions to deal with. Women are strange creatures that demand more attention and love than men. They want to feel that significant other thing all of the time. Two men on the road can pull into a town and split company for a couple days and get away from each other and then come back and share stories, but a man and a woman can't do that. Everyone from coast to coast had fallen in love with Debbie, and everyone I knew was trying to talk me into settling down and be a one-man band. A one-woman man. I had an incurable desire for love in all the wrong places, and Debbie was a one-man woman. She was also very jealous. I was a natural flirt, and at my sexual prime, what was I going to do with little Miss Truth and Honesty? My head and heart were very confused. She was the best traveler and enjoyed the road, but she was a pre-med major with a dream of being a veterinarian. I was a vagabond who could write poetry and songs about love. My relationships with Carla and Mary and Kate had been ruined by the road and drinking and too many lonely nights alone that make a man reach out for warmth and affection wherever he can find it. Debbie would never be able to deal with that. My dream would rip her heart to pieces. She would wind up hating me, and I would never have her trust again.